No one notices it at the beginning. And maybe that's the point. Everything starts with a small thought, so fast it goes unnoticed. Then another comes. And another. And before you realize it, an attitude is born. A simple attitude. Almost automatic. And even so, it changes the direction. Maybe you've lived something like this before. A moment that seemed ordinary, but that, looking back, was exactly where everything began to change. It wasn't a big event. It wasn't a shock. It wasn't a miracle. It was just a silent choice. This story begins like this. Two twin brothers. Same house. Same neighborhood. Same school. The same small room. The same childhood. The same tired parents. The same struggles. The same repeated phrases. Not now. Maybe later. As children, no one could really tell them apart. Not the teachers. Not the neighbors. Not the family. Physically, identical. But inside, something was already moving. Slowly, in silence. While one accepted the world as it was presented, the other asked questions. Not smart questions. Awkward ones. Why does everyone do it this way? What if it could be done differently? Who decided this is the only path? At first, it seemed like simple curiosity. Later, it became odd. At school, they sat side by side. One copied everything exactly as it appeared on the board, line by line, without questioning. The other copied too, but changed the order, drew arrows, made strange connections. The teacher would call him out. Don't complicate what is simple. He didn't answer. He just thought. Meanwhile, the brother followed the expected path, did what was asked, answered what was expected, chose what felt safest. No one said he was wrong. In fact, everyone said he was right. The other was just different. Time passed. In adolescence, the differences began to look like luck. One always seemed to be in the right place. The other, always out of sync. When an opportunity appeared, it seemed to land in one's lap. When a problem showed up, it seemed to choose the other. And from the outside people thought, he's always been luckier. Life helps some people. But no one saw what came before. No one saw the initial thought. The pause before answering. The choice made when no one was watching. When one received a comfortable invitation, he accepted without thinking. When the other received the same invitation, he wondered, where does this lead me? While one ran from discomfort, the other observed it. Not because he liked it, but because he understood it, even without knowing how to explain it. That caused discomfort in others. Friends said he thought too much, that he overcomplicated everything, that life was simpler. Maybe it was, but he couldn't turn it off. While one saw straight lines, the other saw invisible crossroads, and without warning, their paths began to drift apart. Not abruptly, not tragically, silently. Nothing extraordinary had happened by then. No miracle, no great turning point, just thoughts and attitudes too small to make the news. And maybe that's why this story feels so much like yours. Because you've also thought something no one heard, felt the urge to act differently, and swallowed it. Or maybe you were the one who felt out of place, the one who thought outside the box, even without knowing where it would lead. The years passed. One brother got a job early, stable, secure, a predictable routine. The other took longer, tried, failed, started again, and from the outside, The comparison was inevitable. See, he did everything right, while the other just takes risks. But no one noticed that every choice, even the most common one, demands an invisible price. While one chose immediate relief, the other accepted temporary weight. While one sought stability, the other sought meaning. And that began to accumulate, not in money, not in status, but in direction. There comes a moment when life charges interest, not all at once, not with a warning. It starts connecting the dots. The brother who always followed the expected path, one day realized he didn't know exactly how he got there. He just knew he was tired. Tired of identical weeks, of living for Friday, of feeling like something was missing, without knowing what. The other didn't have a straight line to explain his story, but he could look back and see meaning. Every mistake had taught him something. Every strange choice had opened a door. It wasn't luck. It never was. It was the sum of small decisions made in silence. When they met again, they sat across from each other. Same face, same eyes, different lives. One asked, almost as an accusation, "How did you always know?" The other answered, simply, "I didn't know. I just chose to think first." And maybe now, something is starting to make sense. Because what changes destinies aren't rare, big decisions. They are repeated thoughts, automatic actions. What you do when no one is watching. The two brothers weren't separated by luck. They were separated by how they responded to the same situations, the same fear, the same doubt, the same opportunity. And maybe today, you're connecting the dots of your own story. Moments when you moved forward without thinking, or moments when you dared to question. None of that defines you alone, but all of it points you somewhere. And if today you feel stuck, or like someone else always seems luckier, maybe it's not chance. Maybe it's just the accumulated effect of invisible choices. The good news: thoughts change, attitudes change, and direction does too. Even now,